Hello. In this lecture, we are going to discuss Buddhism. We are going to discuss these topics: some general characteristics of Buddhism, origin of Buddhism, Buddha's teachings, three marks of existence, divisions of Buddhism, scriptures, and major contrasts between Hinduism and Buddhism. General characteristics of Buddhism. It is generally believed that Buddhism evolved out of Hinduism. It is an offshoot religion from Hinduism. So there's a lot of connections between Hinduism and Buddhism. There are also a lot of similarities between the two religions. So around 600 BC, Buddhism evolved out of Hinduism as an independent religion. Buddhism is also believed to be a middle way of wisdom and compassion between sensuality and asceticism. So this is two extremes. One extreme is totally embrace material enjoyment and pleasure. On the other extreme, you totally deny yourself of any kind of material enjoyment and pleasure. So the Buddhism provides midway solution. So that's why it's midway of wisdom and compassion. Buddhism is a very old tradition. It's a 2,500 years old tradition. It's a very old religion. It's the world's oldest universalizing religion. A universalizing religion try to convert people from various different backgrounds, regardless of who you are and where you live. Christianity and Islam are both universalizing religion, but Buddhism is the oldest universalizing religion. There are three truths of Buddhism: the Buddha, the teacher himself, who founded this religion; Dharma, the teachings from the Buddha; and Sangha, the Buddhist community. Here you see a symbol of Buddhism, the wheel of Dharma, a symbol of the Noble Eightfold Path by Buddha. Here at the bottom you see the footprint of the Buddha with a wheel of Dharma and the three truths of Buddhism. So both are iconic symbols of Buddhism. The origin of Buddhism can be traced to this particular person, Siddhartha Gautama, who lived between 563 and 483 BC. Siddhartha was born in northern India, actually present-day Nepal. This is a picture where he was born, Lumbini, Nepal. He was born in a princely state. So he was born as a prince. His father was the king of that little princely state. So he grew up in a sheltered life. He had his palaces, and he also married at the age of 16. He had a son, and he really had no idea what happening outside his palace walls. Then at late 20s, he took some journeys outside his palaces, and he saw sight of human misery, human suffering. He saw human getting sick, human getting old. Also, he saw people can die. All these human miseries shocked him, and so at the age of 29, he took a journey to seek solutions to human suffering. He visited the different Hindu masters, Hindu gurus to also experiment with the teachings he learned from them and try to find solutions to human suffering. At one point, he practiced a strict ascetic lifestyle, and that eventually he rejected that extreme practice because he felt that only made him very weak, very sick. This is a statue of Buddha when he practiced asceticism and became very emaciated. So after a few years of searches, he eventually decided that he going to sit down under a Bodhi tree to meditate. And after a few days of intense meditation at this particular place, and he believed that he had received the revelation and discovered the truth and the solution to human suffering. So he declared himself the Buddha, the enlightened one. So that event took place at this Bodh Gaya, Central Bihar, today's India, at this place. And today, this is a place is a very celebrated place, location in Buddhism, because this is a location where he reached enlightenment, become the Buddha. After that, he took a journey to Sarnath, which is a place near Varanasi on the bank of Ganges River, where he gave his very first sermon to 6 or 7 of his first group of students. Then after that, he kept travel and began to gather more students. His influence became larger and more people follow him and follow his teaching. And one day, at the age of 80, he traveled to this location, Kursinagar, Uttar Pradesh, India, where he fell ill and eventually he died there. And this is his cremation stupa at the same place. So this is the story of Buddha and how he created this religion, Buddhism. Buddha's teachings. Buddha's teachings are focused on these 4 noble truths on human suffering. The first noble truth is dukkha. Suffering is universal, regardless who you are or what stage of your life, at what age, and you're rich and poor, you suffer. You have pain. You are unsatisfied with your life. You have all kind of dissatisfaction. These are all called dukkha. So dukkha is a term that refers to mental or physical suffering or pain, dissatisfaction. All this called dukkha. But why human suffering? And then we come to the second noble truth, and Jhana. Jhana really tells the cause, the reason of human suffering. It is because you have self-centered desire and attachment. We all want something in our life. We want, as a student, you want to get a good grades, but you may not get a good grades. You want to graduate on time. You may not graduate on time. And after you graduate, you need to find a good job. You need to worry about getting your family, getting your promotion on your job, and then eventually you also need to face the ultimate reality that your health may not always be good, and you're getting old. So those are all kinds of things in your life that you always expect something from life. After you get something from your life, you may not always can keep what you get. So all these things cause anxiety, worries, and makes you feel anxious. So those are all form of physical or mental dissatisfaction, and that causes suffering. The third noble truth is nirvana, and this is actually to offer a cure or solution to human suffering. If the cause of suffering is self-centered desire and attachment, then the cure is to eliminate those desires and attachment. So when you reach the state of detachment in your life, that is the moment that you can declare the nirvana. You reach the nirvana. So that is a solution. Now, how exactly you can reach the state of detachment, the state of nirvana, and here we come to the fourth noble truth. Buddha offers some techniques of action, which is called Noble Eightfold Path. So Noble Eightfold Path are some specific courses of actions for Buddhist believers to follow in order to achieve enlightenment, achieve detachment. Here you have a course of actions in terms of wisdom. You need to have right understanding of human suffering, right intention to find a solution to human suffering. Also, you need to follow some ethical conduct, so-called right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Also, you need to have a correct mental discipline, the right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So Noble Eightfold Path provides some very specific techniques to achieve nirvana, to achieve detachment. In this context, I'd like to go little bit further to talk about three marks of existence. Existence refers to anybody who lives. You exist on this earth. As long as you live, you exist. Three marks refer to the characteristics. So three characteristics for those who live on earth. Yeah. First mark is anicca, or impermanence. So this really says that nothing is eternal. Nothing on earth is eternal. Nothing can last forever. Everything you see on earth in the universe basically are transient. So all physical and mental events will come into being that eventually will dissolve. Yeah. So nothing is essential. Nothing will last forever. The things that you are looking for may not be always there, will not always there. So that's the first mark, impermanence. And second is dukkha, is our, we already discussed this, dukkha, or suffering. Due to impermanence, due to the first mark, nothing in the physical world or in the mind can bring lasting satisfaction. You want something, you may temporarily get something, but very quickly what you got may dissipate, may be gone. Good health may not be always there. And so that's something that because of that, you suffer. Okay. The third mark is anatta, which can be translated to no self. Now, this is one principle. The Buddha himself just gave this statement that there's no self, but he did not really elaborate exactly what he meant by it. So later on, there's all kinds of interpretations by other people exactly what it means. So today here, I just gave one particular version of interpretation that I feel that it makes sense. This anatta, or no self, means that no permanent self. Now, since the reason humans suffer is that you have a self-centered desire and attachment to life. So the true cause of human suffering is that you have this sense of yourself. You have this mindset that I. So when you have this sense of I, when you have this sense of yourself, you begin also have this sense of my own self-interest. This is mine, and this is mine. This house is mine. That is my land. That is my car, so on and so forth. So you say mine. You say my house, my car. So you have this self-interest. So you have this self-interest, a self-possession. You have a sense of self-possession. When you have this sense of self-interest, that is exactly you have attachment to this material world. So no self, anatta, no self, is actually the Buddha is offering a solution to human suffering. How you can get rid of human suffering? If you get rid of the sense of yourself, if you get rid of the sense of I, so you will not have a sense of this is mine, this car is mine. If you do not have that kind of sense of yourself, you will not have the self-interest. If you do not have the self-interest, therefore you would get rid of the cause of human suffering. So there will be no sense of this is my car, this is my house, this is my land. When you have no sense of your own self-material possession, your self-material ownership, then you will not have any suffering. Make sense? So this is the version of interpretation of anatta or no self that I think makes a lot of sense. So 3 marks of human existence, first two offering this kind of general characteristics for those who live on Earth. The last one really actually offer the solution to the problems that are reflected in the first two marks.